Chapter 34, the Jesus Trilogy, Book 2, Then There Were Two. "Johnny, where are you going?" Diana asked. "I've got to get this knee worked on tonight. Big game tomorrow." "Who are you playing against?" "Jericho. I told you before," he said, annoyed at her forgetfulness. "I'm sorry. You're getting like Mother, always forgetting." "Well, pardon me," she snapped back. "I'm a little bit weak. I've carried this baby for 8 months. It's been a little difficult." "Well, it's difficult for me too, you know. I play football and that's all. I have no life. I come home and sit. We can't go out. We can't even sit down at the dinner table together, and we can't even make—" His red hair bristled, but Diana didn't look up. She bowed her head and began to cry. "It's not my fault that I've had to lay in bed for 3 months." The tears came more freely now. "I know you hate this big fat body, but I can't help it. It's your baby I'm carrying." "We made this baby. We took the vow, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, for fatter or thinner. Well, I'm sick and tired, and I'm fat." She had only gained 15 pounds, which had done little to expand her 5'2" frame. In fact, Judas and Gentile had both commented on how good Diana looked when they had visited the week before. "I don't care if you're a little sick or a little fat, but you're just so cold. You won't even kiss me or do anything. I'm a red-blooded man. I have needs." "Johnny, honey, you know we can't do anything to cause me to lose this baby," she responded sharply. "Any little wrong move could end its little life." She continued to weep, trying not to sob for fear the shaking might disturb her precious baby, but she couldn't help it. Why was Johnny, her husband, so mean to her? She loved him and wanted desperately to give him, her hero, a healthy baby. "Just kissing me won't hurt it," Johnny implored. "You know we can't stop with just kissing. I've got womanly needs too, you know. I haven't had an orgasm for 6 months. I need things just as much as you." Johnny suddenly clammed up. It had been only a couple of days since he had been with Cherise, and in spite of his current predicament at home, he could not wait to get back in her long, slender arms. "I gotta go," he said, adding, "Sorry. You go get your therapy or whatever you get from that evil woman." Johnny went out the door. As he hit the street, he began to run. Each time his right leg hit the cobblestone street, a stabbing pain shot clear up to his knee, but he kept on running. He knew the sooner he got to Cherise, the sooner everything would feel better. And his sobbing went on for another 5 minutes. Finally, she lay back. She had never been more miserable. She had not been out of bed for 3 months. She used the bedpan, and Johnny and Elizabeth took care of her. Her back was killing her, and she had come to hate her big stomach. She looked up at the ceiling. "Oh, well," she thought out loud. "I've done all I can. I'm sick of this. I'm going to get up and cook myself a big meal, and I'm going to eat it." She eased out of bed and stood literally for the first time in 3 months. Her legs started to shake. She eased over toward the kitchen chair and sat. Her legs stopped shaking. There was no cramping. Nothing to worry about, she thought. She got up again, went over to the icebox, and began to assemble her meal. She threw some pasta in a kettle and started a fire on the stove. After a few minutes, the hot fire brought the water to a boil. She threw on a large chicken breast and began cutting some greens for a salad. A big smile came to her face. "See, nothing will happen. Maybe Dr. Luke was wrong all the time. Maybe I could have been up all this time. Then Johnny and I would be very happy. In fact, we would still be happy." After a couple of minutes in which she whistled the whole time, her food was piping hot. She sat down, put a little napkin on the table, a placemat she'd gotten from their honeymoon hotel, and sat down to eat. The salad was great. It felt good in her tummy. She was so ravenous. Her eyes were caked with salt, but she didn't care. She then tore into the pasta. The chicken was great too. It was called Chicken Kiev, named after some place in the Far East, the grocer had told her. It sure was good, especially the buttery center. As she bit into it, the melted butter oozed out, and some ran down her chin. As she chewed, it began to drip down her chest and onto her bare legs. All she had on was her robe, now wide open at the front. She took a white linen napkin and wiped her chin and chest and legs, all the while chewing and staring out the window at the half moon rising in the eastern sky. She set her napkin back down on the table and picked up her fork to take another bite of chicken. As she did so, she looked down and saw some red stains on the white napkin. She wasn't eating anything red. Must be some tomato from the salad. But then she realized there were no tomatoes in the Caesar salad she had made. She glanced down at her hands. Maybe she'd cut herself while cooking. But she looked at her hands and there were no cuts on them. Then she looked down at her legs, spread apart in the chair. A sensation of absolute terror gripped her as she saw that she was sitting in a pool of blood. She tried but could not move. The room started to spin and a wave of nausea welled up in her stomach. Then an awful pain started to build, lower in her pelvic region. Her body started to weave on the chair, then she doubled over in pain. She began to lose consciousness. Her head slipped into the plate full of chicken and pasta. She regurgitated what she had eaten and lay there breathing slowly and shallowly. Elizabeth, who had been asleep for several hours, now began to stir. Her bladder had filled again, as it had done every few hours since her first and only delivery many years back. She got up and walked through the kitchen in a zombie-like state. She headed out the back door to the bathroom. By this time, the blood coming from Diana's vagina was literally running onto the floor. There was a pool of blood about a foot square adjacent to her chair on the hardwood floor. Elizabeth didn't see it as she walked. Her right foot hit the pool of blood, however. She slipped and began to lose her balance. As she fell, she heard a crack, and when she hit the floor, she became fully awake. An awful pain, more severe than any she had experienced, shot through her right hip. She hit the floor, landing directly on her rear end. Her head was thrown backward by gravity, striking the hardwood floor, but she did not lose consciousness. The pain was so great she could only muster an inaudible scream. But as she looked up from her supine position, she saw Diana for the first time. The second scream was not inaudible.